Hello friends, uh, I am here with my next video that is based on SDLC model. I have already covered waterfall model. So second model which I am going to start now, that is prototyping model. Okay. So prototyping model is again one of the most important model which you can say came after waterfall model. The main disadvantage of using waterfall model was that organizations were not able to release and working software to the end users. Working software means a prototype. So if any client is looking for prototype, so that was not possible using waterfall model. So for that purpose, the model came, that is prototyping model. So the main objective of prototyping model is that in case of working actual software, just make a prototype first of all. Okay, so let's see how a prototype can be planned, designed and developed and it is given to the customer. Let's see how it happens. So the model is prototyping model. So prototyping model, generally I will try to explain in very simple way, not providing you a lot of explanation and lot of phases. Just in simplest format I will try to explain you. So if I assume that actually what happens in prototype model, so first step according to me, that is listen to customer. Okay, this is the first step. So based on customers requirement, a prototype will be created, build a prototype slash modify. Okay, and this is second phase. Third will be test drive by client. Test drive by clients. Okay, that is the third phase. So it happens like this. So if you see in this model, the first phase is listen to customer. Okay, so like customer has some basic set of requirement at the initial level. So based on customers initial requirement, a prototype will be developed by development team. So actually what happens when development team is generally developing a prototype, they follow the phases of SDLC, not in detailed manner, but yeah, you can say without following these phases in detailed manner, definitely they do the planning, designing, coding, and testing team will also test this prototype, not in detailed manner. Okay, so definitely building a prototype, SDLC phases will be followed, but not in depth manner. So once the prototype is prepared, like this prototype will be delivered to the client for test drive. So once prototype is developed, it is given to the client to test drive. Client will use this prototype. Based on their raised requirements, he will use this prototype. Okay, so after getting used this prototype, customer or client will have some set of recommendations, set of feedback. So feedback may be like this requirement need to show like that, this requirement is not needed, need to add some new set of requirement. So what happens after third phase, again we are coming towards the first phase. So at the first phase, now customer has set of feedback like this requirement should be shown like this requirement is not needed, this requirement is working fine, need to add some new requirement like that. So again, customer has set of recommendations. So again, that recommendations will be passed to the second phase. Like you can say, that recommendation will pass to the development team based on the latest recommendations, or you can say reviews. The existing prototype will be modified, and again that will be tested by the QA team, and again after second phase it will move toward the third phase. So in third phase, again the prototype will be used by the client, and again after using this prototype at the phase third, client has again a set of requirement. So again, with set of similar types of feedback which I have already explained earlier, like changes that is not required, that should be added like that. Again, the existing prototype will be modified, tested, and will be given to the client. So this is a cyclic process. You can say after every cycle, a prototype will be released and it is given to the client. Here, client is getting opportunity to use the prototype and provide their feedback. So after a number of iterations, there will be a situation where client will say, now it's a final prototype from my end. This is the final set of functionality. This prototype is the final set. I'm approving this prototype, and now this prototype contains all the requirements, and that requirements are already verified by the end user. So you can say when prototype is finalized by the client, generally we have a final set of requirement. Okay, and based on that final set of requirement, we can say that client is not going to raise any concern in future regarding these requirements, because these are the requirements which are verified and tested, and you can say agreed by the end users. So what will happen after a number of cycle, when prototype is completed, we can say now we have a final set of requirements. So the objective of using prototype model is just finalize a prototype and collect a set of requirements. So you can say after this model we have a final set of requirements. So that final set of requirements can be documented into the form of SRS document, and it may be that after this model, development company can use some other model to actually develop the software. That can be a waterfall model. According to me, waterfall model is the best suited here, because the main challenges, the main limitations into the waterfall model was that how to finalize the customer's requirement, and that activity we have already done into the prototyping model. So in this model we have already finalized the set of requirement, and that requirements, and based on that requirements, development company can follow waterfall model. Okay, so again, if I am talking about the waterfall model, based on a final set of requirement, SRS document will be generated. Okay, design document will be done, coding will be done, testing will be done, and finally you can say the software will be delivered to the end users. So that was something about the prototype model. So what happens actually in this model, we are going to involve client at the very initial phase. Okay, so that was something about the waterfall model. Let's see the advantage and disadvantage of prototyping model. Okay, advantage, you can say advantage, like first advantage is able to release an early version of the software. Second, capable to provide 100% customer satisfaction as requirements are approved by clients. Third, you can say good for risky or large project good for the situation where clients are not confident with their requirements and its output. Means maybe that client has provided a set of requirements, and due to misunderstanding of the development company, the development team, this product was developed in different format. So always that situation cannot be happen in this model. So that is the advantage of prototyping model. Let's see the disadvantage of prototyping model. Disadvantage. First, not good for small project. Sometimes it's time consuming. Sometimes it's time consuming and cost effective. Third point, development effort involved in prototype development is of no use, because what happens, once client is satisfied, he is saying okay, this prototype will be totally destroyed, he is of no use. So the effort, development skills involved in developing the prototype will be definitely for no use, because once it is stamped, it is approved by the client, we need to work on separate set of softwares. So finally you can say development effort involved in prototype development is of no use. Okay, so these are the main disadvantage of the prototyping model. So summary about this model is, like, you can say prototype model is best suited for the project, for the situation where client actually needs prototype. Okay, first of all, he is eager to see the early version of the software. So in that case, we should go for the prototype. Okay, so that's all about the prototype. I think that this video is going to help you guys to get better understanding in this model. If you like this video, please subscribe and follow my channel. Thanks a lot.